happy day, friends. Welcome back. It's another day, another episode. Life in the Higham house. We are glad that you are tuning in this morning. It is morning. The sky is blue. The sun is shining. It's going to be a good day. We had a very fruitful and productive weekend. Getting a lot of chores done around the house and around the animals and for the garden. So I'm very happy. But it's a new day. It's a new morning. We have chickens that need to be fed. We have chicks that need to get outside. And I've got work to get to. And so we're going to get this done here real quick this morning. And then we got to get to my other work. So, good morning, everyone. How you all doing? We're all hungry. Yes, you are. All right, let's get these girls taken care of, shall we? So, with the girls all set up for the day, we're ready to move to the little chicks. But here's what I love. So, I love the whole deep bedding system. Basically, the idea is you put, 8 inches or more of a bedding, whether it's wood chip, straw, whatever you use. There's a couple different things there. But you allow that to build up. Like, in other words, you don't clean it out. You just keep adding to it. And what it does is it allows it to break down. And what I love about the straw is I put a couple piles out and the girls just attack it. They start scratching through it, they spread it out, they fill their entire run and the coop area with it. And it's fun for them because it gives them something to do, it stimulates them, it triggers that scratching mechanism. And so they're looking for seeds, they're looking for bugs, they're looking for whatever they can find to eat in those little clumps of straw that I put out. And I just love watching them because it's what chickens do. And they get a chance to do what chickens do. And so they're able to spread that out. And every couple weeks, I just keep putting more straw on it. And it gets thicker and thicker. But with all the rain we just had, I've been waiting until things dry out a little bit, but underneath it's just dirt. Like everything I've put in there already has been composted down. They drop they put their droppings in there, they scratch, it all gets turned up, they're digging, and it's awesome because now I'm gonna have, when I eventually move the coop, I'm gonna have a bunch of really good dirt and compost to use when the time comes for me to use it. So, yeah, got them all taken care of, watered, fed, new straw. They're going to be nice and busy today, so that's good. And we're putting some straw into the chicks. We're going to introduce them to the same thing. They're in a much smaller area, but I want them to have that stimulation as well and be able to trigger all of those things that I want them to do as chickens. So, let's get them squared away, and then I think that's going to do it for us today. chores are done. Feels good. They're all happy, fed, watered, enjoying their time in their runs and coops. But the question is this: why? Why do chickens? Why plant your own seeds? So we've started really kind of laying into creating vlogs of showing us doing the seeds, doing the planting. Come over here, Rex. Taking care of the chickens, learning more about chickens, getting more chickens, talking about meat birds, talking about turkeys. Question is why? Why are we spending the energy for these tasks, for these projects? And there's a number of reasons, and they may not all be the usual answers or reasons that like regular homesteaders or farmers might, share. Mine are a little different. They're similar in some ways, but they're different. So the similarities would be that I'm intrigued by the idea of growing our own food. I'm intrigued by the idea of producing stuff that we can harvest and then either can it, freeze it, dry it, and use it later. We have done that in seasons past, and it's really cool to go down to your cellar and grab a jar of something that you canned or preserved so you could have it in the off season. So I'm intrigued by that. I like the idea of being able to grow our food and then store it so that we can have it later. I'm also intrigued by the question of, can I actually do this? Can I take something from seed and grow a fruit from it or a vegetable? Can I produce something for my family? Can we do it? Can I raise chickens so that they are providing us with our eggs? Can I raise meat birds so that we can fill our freezer and have our own free-range, chickens that we eat later throughout the year? Can I raise turkey so that we could have our own Thanksgiving turkey or our own Christmas turkey? And even getting into the bigger can I's. Can I get to the place where at some point we're raising pigs, or we're doing some beef cow, or we're doing goats, or something like that. All with the purpose of providing for my family. So the question of can I actually do this? Can I produce something that then sustains us? So that's the second thing about this. Then we have the question about costs. And the question is it cheaper to raise your own food, freeze it, can it, preserve it, and have it? And this is one of those, you have to weigh out the amount of time and resources you put into the garden, watering, weeding, planting, pruning, harvesting, all that stuff. Like, that takes time. You can't just put stuff in the ground and it grow and you come along and pick the fruit. I mean, you can try that, but I want to produce the best of what I can produce. So I'm going to give it the time, I'm going to give it the energy, because I want to see if we can really put things away. And with prices just going up and up and up at the grocery store, we do want to focus on having more vegetables in our diet. We want to focus on healthier meat products in our diet. We've already seen that our fresh eggs are far superior than the grocery eggs. So when we go in, last year in the winter when our chickens weren't producing, we had to go and buy eggs. I mean, they're just not, one, as flavorful. We know they're not as healthy, and they're expensive. And so part of me says, let's fill up with eggs. It's a product that we eat a lot of, and so to have our own eggs is beneficial, and it's cost effective for us. When you get to enough chickens and you're producing enough eggs on a regular basis, the cost and the production begins to even out. And so while we might still pay what we would pay for eggs in the grocery store as we think about feed and water and stuff like that, I know where my eggs are from. and I know what my chickens are eating, and I know my eggs are better than the eggs in the grocery store, and so I will choose my eggs over grocery store eggs if I can. And so as we think about cost, for me, it's as I see the prices in the grocery store rise, can I produce the products, the produce that we would eat, and is there a way for us to can it, save it, freeze it, preserve it, dry it, however it is, and can we do that? For a lot of folks who do their own chickens, their own vegetables and produce, for them it's they want to eat healthier. They want to know where their food is coming from. They want to know that there are no pesticides being used as it's raised. They want to know that there are no genetic modifications or things added to make the fruit bigger, the produce better, so that it looks good, so that it sells better. A lot of folks are like, they want to have their own stuff because they want to know that they're eating well. And part of, for me, is a little bit of that. I will say I'm not that far into it. Like, we haven't gone for, organic feed. We haven't gone for organic seeds. We're not stepping into that. But we are careful about what we feed our chickens. We do let them free range. We share a lot of scraps with them. And I use a feed that, for me, I'm okay using until we're in a place that we can get to maybe the organic stuff eventually. Seeds, again, I don't use any chemicals on our vegetables. I don't use any growing things like I don't want to name brands, but I don't put anything in it to make it grow faster or bigger or better. I just let the fruit grow, and I care for it, water it, and tend to it. And so if we get little tomatoes, we get little tomatoes, but they're really good and juicy. If we get big potatoes, gosh, we're blessed we have big tomatoes. So I do want to eat healthier, but healthy food is not yet the driving force. While I do know where my food is coming from, and I know what I'm doing to it, that is good for me. But we haven't moved into the place where we're like all organic. And I don't know that we will. Maybe we will. I don't know. Maybe someday we'll have a larger property and I can focus on being more organic. And then we can go that route. So I want to know where my food's from. I want to know that it's good. I want to know that it's healthy. I want to know that I'm eating healthy. For me, the other side of this is I like the discipline that it forces me to have, that I have to get up in the morning and I have to take care of the chickens. They have to be let out. They have to be fed. I like the discipline that the garden gives me, that I have to go out and I have to care for it. I have to tend it. I've got to weed it. I've got to give it the attention it needs so that I can get the most out of it. And for me, those things they help give me structure. They give me the discipline. Otherwise, hey, it'd be great to sleep in the morning and not have to get out of bed super early. But at the same time, when you do that, your day starts late, everything gets pushed back, and you're rushing or cramming to get everything done before your end of day. But when you get up early and you get moving and you can get to the things that you want to get to, then come the end of the day, you're done. You're not cramming to try to get the last minute assignments or the last minute projects complete. I've been up early enough and I've put in the time and I've gotten the work done because I've been motivated, because I got up and I took care of what I need to take care of. So for me, a lot of this is discipline. It's structure. It's helping me be better because it's forcing me to have to do these things, to water, to feed, to wake them up, to prune, to harvest. All of that does good stuff for me. And I think the last thing about all of this is it's fun. Like, I like doing this. I grew up in the city. We did not have gardens. We did not have grass in our backyard. We had a few trees in the neighborhood, but they weren't like fruit producing trees. They were just trees. But we didn't have those things growing up. Not that I'm complaining about growing up, but we grew up in the city. That's just the way it is. You don't have what we like. I look at my backyard. This was not my backyard growing up. This is nothing like my backyard growing up. So when I think about cutting grass, when I think about weeding, when I think about landscaping, when I think about having a garden, having animals, like these things are fun for me because it's an outlet for me to enjoy doing something with my hands, doing something that makes me think and it mentally challenges me, and at the same time it's relaxing. After a stressful week, gosh, there's nothing better than sitting on the tractor cutting grass while listening to a podcast or some worship music or something. And I can, as I am cutting the grass, as I'm making the passes back and forth, I'm seeing the fruit of my labor. I'm seeing the grass get cut. Maybe we'll someday have property to have a little bit bigger of a garden and farm and animal options, because it's always been something that I've gravitated to. I love that lifestyle. I love how it makes me feel, and I love knowing that, you know, I love it when our kids, our family eats what we've produced. I love making breakfast with our eggs. A couple years ago, we had a very fruitful season of cucumbers and pickles, and we had jars of pickles. And every time we opened one, it was just that satisfaction of we grew that, we canned that. Those are our pickles. When I did my tomato sauce last year, you know, we just used the last of it up about a week ago. But still, the idea that we grew those tomatoes and I made that tomato sauce, and now we are eating that tomato sauce, like that is satisfying. So I gotta wrap this up. I've already gone longer than I like to, so it's a longer vlog, so sorry about that, but thank you. If you watched this far, that's awesome, because you just learn a little bit more about me and why I like doing what I do. But we got a busy day ahead, lots of work, so we're gonna wrap things up. As always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being a part of our story. All right, friends, before my battery dies, I'm out of here. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time right here, Life in the Higham House. Later.